And welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And it's Christmas in February.
It'll stop in a second.
So this is Eve's finish.
Tiny Modernist gingerbread house. It was for the Jingle Ball, an exclusive for the Jingle Ball, and I absolutely...
And she finished it. Remember, she was putting it together, throwing it last week. It's the back, the sides.
Yeah,
Isn't it so cute?
I absolutely love it.
It's
and
really beautiful.
The music box works are not actually in it.
Attached to it.
They're inserted, and they will stay there, but
it's windy, so you have to be able to get to it to
right.
wind it up. So
And so I have it where I'm going to finish that little box with a little, like the little gingerbread guy or something in that little clear thing, so that if I want to put it separately, I can.
That's neat.
So
welcome back. It is February. We're almost done with February.
What's the day? The 22nd or something?
22nd.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
I've
I'm
been
waiting for that next WIP-GO call, because I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
should I start?
I forgot about that.
I've been sick all week, but I'm sure I will cough while I'm talking to you guys. But we're back, and we're so happy to see you all. We hope that you have your stitching, your favorite drink, and a comfy chair, and sit with us and talk for a while. So I think Beth is going first.
Yeah. As I don't have much to talk about.
Well, you also haven't gone first in a while.
I've been working on the bear. I think I started on it last Friday or Saturday. And I had done like some of the fronds by his feet here, the cattail fronds here. And I think I had done like one line of color behind him here. And I had done various parts of his body, and I had not done the cabin. And so I did that and finished the cabin. And I did a lot of the fronds over here. And I did this side, there's some little fronds on this side that are finished. And so I was kind of just working randomly, because I thought, well, I'm going to get all the fronds done, or I'm going to get the house done, or I'm going to get this color of the bear done. And so I just kind of like jumped around a little bit. But I did do the cabin. I got the cabin finished. I did have to go and buy one color, because I kept looking through my stuff, and I kept thinking, well, it's supposed to be here, it's supposed to be there, and I just couldn't find it. So I just went out and bought another one. But so I did finish his face.
Oh, let's see.
And
Baloo, it's so cute.
Yeah. And so the parts that are not done, there's like this kind of a grayish color that's one of these colors here that goes in all these empty spaces.
It's so cute.
And then I almost finished with this sort of yellowish color. There's a little section that goes, I don't know where I am.
Did you already show this?
Right here, yeah. It goes right here, and the brown, this lighter brown color, I kind of, I got to the end of a thread, and rather than start another one, I just did some of these smaller, little motifs, whatever. And so
It's good.
my goal on it was 7 days, and I think I did about 8.5 days on it, because I just didn't want to stop, because I was in the middle of whatever. So,
That's nice.
but that's the bear. So I'm making good progress on it, but whatever. I have the rest of the month to maybe go back to it or whatever, or to finish that snow angel. When I was doing my video last week, I was talking about it and showing it and everything, and I realized, oh, there's one stitch in there where I forgot to cross it. I skipped over crossing it.
I hate it when I do that.
So it's I'm like, it's sticking out through. So I took on the paper PDF I had, and I circled it with a pencil. So I would don't forget to fix that. But anyway, so then the other So my other new start for this month is Nicholas. This little, this is the Quirky Christmas by Twin Peak Primitives. The bear is part of the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods. I didn't mention that. But so Nicholas is this one. I intend to do all 9 ornaments, just not this month. But so I'm doing Nicholas, and I just started it like last night in the middle of the night, or in the wee hours of this morning. So you can't really tell what I did. It's just the top of his hat there. But one thing I noticed, you know, because this is a PDF file, and the pattern is nice and huge. But
I'm sitting here accidentally trying to show it.
But on his hat, I was looking at it, you know, because I was thinking, well, there's like these little swirlies that are back stitched on the corners, and I wanted to do a corner start because I'm going to try to put all 9 ornaments on this one piece of fabric. So I didn't want to do a center start. I wanted to do a left corner start, and you know, so I had to like, you know, count way over to actual stitching. No, I'm here.
No, I know, but I'm saying.
Yeah. I didn't want to. Yeah. So this thread is my left hand corner, and so I counted in to do his hat. But you know, I just was glancing at the pattern, and I thought, okay, it's you know, it's round, these little red symbols, and on the key page with the symbols and the colors, they have it separate so that like here's the color and here's the symbol, right? Instead of being like the symbol over the color kind of thing. So I was going through it and I realized there's one symbol that's a round dot and one symbol that's a hexagon.
Oh,
and when you look at it in the pattern, they're very close. You have to really look at it to realize these are hexagons.
Mm-hmm.
These are circles down here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I glanced at it, I thought they were...
And then there's a circle with a little dash in it.
Yeah, and so I was like, oops.
Did you start the wrong color?
No, I started right.
Oh.
I started
But
correct.
she was going to start with the wrong color.
Yeah, I was going to start, and I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to, what I'm going to do is, because it's like I said, it's just a printed PDF pattern, so I think I'm just going to have to write in, like,
Oh, that's neat.
use this color
The
on there.
snowflakes on his head, you do the white in there, and
Yeah.
then you do a big...
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, because in one place the white is like backstitched over this red color, and in other places there's like I'm like, well, wait, well, what do you do that? And so I was looking at the picture down here, and I thought, well,
Are those
they're
like French knots or
they're-
something? Or
no, it's just backstitched over, I think.
no, but there's little dots. See, there's little dots.
Wait, here. Yeah, French knots.
Or as Beth likes to put in.
I look colonial knots, but on the white squares there's a symbol under there,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
I
can
hadn't
barely see it.
I hadn't really looked at it closely enough to see it. So you know, so the pattern I'm gonna, like I said, I think I'm gonna have to like put a line that says use
like-
this color. Yeah, you can just
There,
barely
that's
see
a
it.
white one, right? But
Yeah.
then down here, you put it over the
Right.
red.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I have to like be very careful what I'm doing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good.
so
That's
anyway,
good.
but yeah, so I just barely got started on this. So I only have a handful of stitches in it. But you know, I don't have any set number of days, so I'm just work on it as long as I feel like working on it. And I have all of this next week to do more of this, to maybe finish some stuff on the snow angel, to maybe work more on the bear. But yeah, so that's me.
That's you?
That's me.
Well, I'm gonna go second. The thing I've been working on the most, the reason I'm sitting here is because I didn't want to start and be in the middle of a row, so I can show you what I'm doing here. But anyway, the thing I've been working on the most is I am working on fully finishing this pattern from Hawk Run Hollow, Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And this is one panel from that larger design. And as you remember, if you've been with us, I changed the words to be more close to the actual poem, not the exact actual poem, because I got it wrong too. But anyway, I changed the words to say, I heard a bird sing in dark December, a magical thing and sweet to remember. And I finished all of the long stitches of the pine cones, and then I laced it. I bought fancy sticky board, and then I cut it wrong. So then I found this piece of, I had a notebook that I guess I had bought for Anna a long time ago. It was in her room, and she never used it. It was like a recycled paper, one of those recycled paper notebooks. And so, but the cardboard is really thick. Feel it.
Oh yeah.
For notebook cardboard, it's really thick. I know it's weird. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. But I laced it. It's my first lacing job.
So did you watch a video of how to lace it?
I watched a couple. One was annoying and one was good. Actually, what I did, and I don't know if you do this, but I saw one person do it, and I thought it was actually kind of genius, because actually it took me a few tries. So what I did was I set up a spool of thread here, and then I laced and just kept pulling it and pulling it off the spool. And then tied this end, and then tightened it back this way, and then tied that end, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I saw one lady doing it off a spool, and I thought, well, that's genius, because then you don't have to figure out how long to cut.
Yeah, because otherwise you end up like, because as long as you cut it, it's never long enough.
Right,
so you
exactly.
have to like knot it and start again, and knot it and start again.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did that off a spool, and I thought I did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So
The border is straight, which means you did an excellent job.
Yeah.
So I had quilt clips all over it.
Yeah.
And I didn't exactly miter these. I kind of squished them into
As
a
long
fine.
as it works for you, it's all
So,
that matters.
As long as they're not bulky and
I think they'll sit pretty flat. So what I'm going to do is then glue it to this frame, which I found at the Hoblob.
the lobby of hops.
So I'm going to glue it on here. It's got a stand and it can be hung, so she can do whichever works best for her. And then I found these. Eve helped me find these wooden pieces that are going to go.
I was trying to decide if we should go to Hobby Lobby or Joanne for something to put it on, and so I looked at Hobby Lobby's app,
Yeah.
and I saw those. I went,
So
those look just like her birds.
These little birds. I'm getting close. This one looks like kind of like a fat bluebird, and this one looks like a cardinal, which is what's in the design. So I really like those too. There's a bunch. There's another one that's sitting on a branch, but it didn't work as well. And then it also had tree branches. So this one has little leaves, and this one's just like a bare branch. So my plan is to I'm going to paint these, and I bought a bunch of paints at Hobby Lobby. A blue for that blue bird, a cardinal red for the little red bird, green for the leaves, and some white just because you need white, and then brown for the branches, and then this is golden ochre that I thought might be nice. I don't know now why I bought this.
For the belly of the bird.
Okay. Oh yeah. So anyway, because at first I thought I was going to make a male and female bird, and then I decided to make a bluebird. So I don't know why I bought the yellow. But anyway,
You can always use yellow.
so I'm going to paint these little wooden guys, and then I'm going to put them on here. I think I was working it out the other day, and I think I'm going to have them be off the frame a little bit, like that, down here on each side, and then have the birds. I got to really paint the right side of them, the correct side, be like that. So I don't know if you can see.
You're gonna have to take a picture of it down.
Yeah. Well, actually,
No, I mean,
no, I know. What I'm just about to say is, I will be doing this afternoon or tonight, maybe tomorrow. No, it'll be today. So however far along I am by the time I edit this, here's a picture. So, because my goal is to have this finished today. Because then I will put this here. Because once that's done, I want it to be able to dry for a day with glue and all that. Oh, and I also got fast grab tacky glue.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. We have regular, and I thought, oh, I like the idea of the fast tack. But that's because everything else is ready to go. Not this hat. Okay. I blocked Hannah's sweater, finally. It no longer looks like a baby sweater. It looks like an adult sweater for a little girl, a young girl like mine. So I blocked it, and those fold marks are just from me bringing it over here.
Little dog.
It's so beautiful. It came out just as I'd hoped. Like I told you when I finished it, if you find that video, if you're new to us, I talked about how I kind of changed the plan for the sleeves according to, this is called, I put it on the screen last time. It's called, I can't remember. I'll put the title of the pattern down here again because I can never remember. But it's a t-shirt pattern, and it's got this really pretty, it's just knits and pearls. All of the samples on the pattern were done in solids, and I had the idea, I found the yarn, this gradient yarn, it's by, it's Poema, and
You notice there's no more light left on it.
yeah. Well, actually it's in here. But anyway, I bought 2 balls of it, and I had the idea to make a sweater, and I looked for a small sweater, and I found this one, and I thought it would be really beautiful. The gradient did present some challenges because I had to go back and do the collar, which is why I bought the second ball, because inside this hand wound yarn is the white, what's left of the white after I did the collar. And then I wound it off to get to this point so that I could match the cuffs. I talked about it a lot in a recent episode, but anyway, so this is blocked and ready to go, along with, as you remember, the red beret, and because this yarn is left over from a sweater I made for her last year. And then also the hooded cowl, which she sent me a sad picture from Boston because it was freezing. She's like, I need the hood. So anyway, the hooded cowl is going. It's got so much drape. I love the drape that it has. This is my hand spun yarn. So it's, you can put it around your neck, and this goes, of course, over your head. So it's your little monk hood.
I saw this thing about alpacas, and it was like a little video or something, and it was talking about, I guess, in the alpaca, the natural habitat, how the temperature can be like really hot and then really cold, just in the course of a day or whatever.
Oh, you mean
and
like here?
So they were showing the how, you know, the alpacas, like wool, you know, insulates them and cools them, whatever.
Well, and
I thought that's why it's so great for.
Yeah. So this hood is made
sweaters
from actual wool. All 3 of these are wool.
Mm-hmm.
This is spun from, I believe it's Jacob wool, and I'm really surprised that it has it blocked as soft as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Alpaca is different because each fiber is hollow, and that hollowness, that air inside the actual hair of the alpaca gives it even more insulation than wool. But wool is super insulating. But the and also because the stitches themselves hold air, and that's what gives you a lot of warmth. But alpaca, the problem with alpaca is wool has bounce and retention. Alpaca does not. So even as drapey as this is, alpaca would be even drapier, and it doesn't hold its shape. Like if you get it wet, it just grows, and it's just kind of, so you have to make sure your knit is exactly the size and shape that you want it to be when you make alpaca, anything out of alpaca, because it is very drapey and doesn't have spring. Wool has a spring to it.
Sorry. I interrupted you.
It's okay. And I brought this hat along with me because I never did. I made it a long time ago, and I never did block it. So I'm like, I'll throw it in the sink with the. But I was worried that it might have gotten this, whatever this dark brown dye is, because the water was brown when I took out the hat. I'm like, I hope it didn't get on the. I hope it didn't get on the hat, but it didn't.
Why is the red hat not ready?
What do you mean? Why is it not ready?
You said the red hat wasn't ready to go.
Oh no, it is ready.
Oh,
I said, as you may remember, I said this red yarn was from a
Sweater.
a sweater.
I thought you said that it
No, it's ready.
wasn't ready to go.
And the
She
other
wasn't
day,
paying
Peyton,
attention. She wasn't listening. She wasn't listening to
I
her.
was listening.
It's okay. No, the other day, Peyton put it on.
It looks
She was
so cute.
She was skeptical. She's like, really? She didn't think it would look good, and so I put it on her right, where like you flatten it out and put it sideways, and even Robert was like, "Not gonna lie, it looks cool." And he took a picture of her, so I guess I gotta make her one. So anyway, and I brought this extra yarn because this is left over from that little sweater, and I thought, wouldn't this make a really pretty beret? Maybe, or a hat of some kind. And then I thought maybe I would make one of these Musselburgh hats. I'll show you.
It would make a cute girly fox.
What? No, I'm not making a fox. So this Musselburgh hat is made this way. I've talked about it in the past. And so it's basically a closed tube.
It's an amoeba.
It's a closed tube, looks like a hot dog. But you shove one side inside the other. So then I thought, okay, just this morning I had this thought. I rewind this so that this color is on the inside and start with the white. And start on one end with the white and then make the long hot dog up until it's long enough with an end in this dark color, right? So it's going to be white to dark in the big hot dog tube like this. And then the way you wear this is that this morning it was very hard to do. You basically, kind of like a sock, you turn it inside itself. Oop. You turn it once inside. So if it were light to dark, you would have light to middle, or you go like this and wear it dark to middle. So you could have a double reversible hat, however you would like. And it's double thick. And then if you put it on and you pull up this, then you have a quadruple thick over your ears. So I really like this pattern. It's hard to start because you have to start with a tiny little pinhole and needle, and then in knitting that's not so easy. But I thought this would make a really cool Musselburgh hat, and it's a lot of yardage, so you would have a lot of brim to pull up, and I think it would look really cool. So I was like,
nice. It would look nice like that.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do with this. I thought about doing another beret, but that would look weirder, I think, with the gradient. So anyway, so that's that. And then I got to take this sweater off. I was cold when I walked out of the house this morning.
I was so cold in here. I had on a sweater and
so
booties and.
So last week after I recorded, I said I wanted to go to Hobby Lobby, to Joann's, because they were doing the going out of business thing. And I got this batting for Rachel's quilt. It's 50-50, which is nice. It's 50% polyester, 50% cotton. The cotton, I really like cotton batting. But the problem with cotton batting is that it shrinks, or it can shrink, so this 50% polyester will keep it from shrinking when the quilt is washed. So I got that, it's twin size, it'll accommodate that quilt top. So that's there. And then while we were at Joann's, I was like, I make so much stuff for Hannah. This is not for Hannah, it's me. But I make so much stuff for Hannah, as you know, all the time. And I was like, son, let's pick something for you. So he really liked this yarn. It's a blanket yarn. This color is called leather, which I think is really nice. And I saw a video of somebody, this pattern is on the inside of the label. I bought 3 of these. and the pattern's on the inside of the label, and the label, it says this blanket can be made with 3 balls. So these things are huge, and normally they go for like $20. So, I mean, it's like, you think, oh, it only takes 3 balls to make it. Yeah, but it's still the same as buying, you know. Anyway, I saw a video of somebody finger knitting, and I think that, so my son only has the use of one hand, but watching her do it, I think I could adapt it. If I did the starting row, I think that he would be able to do it himself, to go back and forth. And so, anyway, and if not, I'll do it. But so that's this project. So I'm going to get him started on that this week. And the way you do it is you just make like a crochet chain, basically, and then you go back and pull up a loop, and then you go back and pull up a loop in the loops, and you go back and pull up a loop in the loop. So it's easy. That's actually the secret to knitting, by the way. Just pull up a loop in the loop. So that's that, and
that's the secret to crochet too.
exactly. The last thing I brought is, apparently I missed the announcement. I'm not reading, but Block Magazine from Missouri Star Quilt Company has changed its size. It's always been square, and now this came in the mail, and I was like, what? So I haven't even opened it.
What's
I literally
that quilt on the left, on the top, on the back?
on the back.
Does it say love?
No, it says grandma.
Oh, it says home.
Yeah. So here's the quilts that are in the issue. And I love this magazine. There's no ads because it's their magazine. They produce it. They do it. They do all the. It's the best. It's the best magazine. Yeah. So, hey, look at that. March 14 and 15 is National Quilting Day event weekend. Let's go. Let's go.
To Missouri?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've wanted to go there for years.
I know, me too.
But I'm kind of out of my quilting mojo right now, and because I'm gonna be finishing Rachel's quilt, I'm like, I gotta unbury my sewing machine. And also my friend at work asked me to fix her dress like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I gotta unbury my sewing machine. So anyway, so this is nice new magazine from Missouri Star, new format apparently. And actually, Jenny is in Africa.
I don't know, she's been traveling.
Yeah, and she's on a mission actually. Anyway, so that's fun. And I think that's all I have. Oh no. So this is the other thing I've been doing. This week I started, or maybe I started last week. This is I was finishing the pockets last week. Here, Eve, you hold that. This is my aunt's sweater. My aunt's sweater. This is the front. These are this is the back. This is one front, and this is the other front. You're supposed to knit them one at a time. So you knit the back first, and then you count your rows, and then you knit the same exact number of rows for the front, and then you make another front, and then you make a sleeve, and you make another sleeve. And I was like, no. So I bought this, you remember a few weeks ago, I bought this long cord. And I just bought the cord because I had the needles already. They're interchangeable. And I had all the yarn. I wound up I finished the 2 pockets. And those are, I haven't blocked them, so sue me. But here's the pockets. I finished those. I did these 2 at a time, same way on this needle. And I found, I'm glad I did it because I had to practice keeping track of where I was. Part of that was I did a mark on the front, so I put a marker on the front. So I knew if I wasn't looking at 2 fronts, I hadn't done both yet, right? So I had to make sure I did both fronts and then both backs, because if you stop in the middle and you have one on each side, then they swing around, and then you don't know where you are. So that was a challenge that I had, and so I learned a lot doing those pockets that way. And then what I did was, I have the front side markers, so I know which is the front and which is the back of the piece. And then I did this. I put a marker here. This is the beginning. If I'm gonna do the fronts, this is the first, the beginning of the row of the fronts. And then over here, I have a beginning of the row of the backs, and they're completely different. So, and I can also tell because that's where the yarn is attached, because that means I have to go this way. So anyway, this keeps me oriented, because if I get over here and I've got one of these, there's no markers here. So I know I'm not done with the row, and I know I need to figure out which way I'm going. So it's all to prevent me from getting confused and knitting more on one piece than the other. The other problem I'm facing is, as you can see, all this yarn hanging. And these get tangled and twisted, and every once in a while I have to untwist them and rewind the balls. But it's actually working very well. And I just have done this much since last week, but not tons of concentrated time, because I've been working on the, Hannah's cross stitch and stuff. So I think without any other distractions, this should go pretty fast. So we'll see, hopefully. This is what I do when I'm sitting in my chair. So, and I have to finish that quilt, but that'll take basically like one concentrated day of work, which I'm off Monday, so I think I'm going to pull out my sewing machine, get it all laid out, and get it all done. I'm thinking about hand tying that quilt. I'm not sure.
I think hand tying is beautiful.
The reason I don't want to traditionally quilt it is because the t-shirts are different fabrics.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that when I am quilting that they will pull differently than the rest of the quilt.
Yeah.
And so, but I think I'm going to hand tie them with hidden ties rather than sticking up ties, because Rachel has cats. And I know with my cats,
she has naughty cats.
My cats are
they're not naughty.
What I mean is they get into stuff,
but
and they pull.
I don't know if they're string
down
chewers,
stuff.
but like mine are string chewers, so I would not.
My cats don't mess with it.
Well, that's
No,
good,
mine
but some cats would, and I don't want to pose a problem with here's a chewy knot.
Yeah, she posted a picture of her
my
cats
cat
doing
Calvin,
something.
who is sibling to hers, he will chew on chewy knots. So he's bitten through shoelaces. He's bitten through my umbrella handle.
Oh wow!
The little cord in the umbrella. He bit through it. So if they're siblings, you never know. So I'm like, what I'm going to do is where you
Puck did chew through my
where
remote cord.
you tie the knot and then hide the ties inside. Right by the knot, you just pull them inside, pull them out again, and then snip it so that they're hidden in the layer. And it'll form a little knot where you can see the quilting, but the ends won't be exposed.
Yeah.
And actually, it might help it last longer. So I think that's what I'm going to do rather than traditionally quilting it.
Because you'd have to go around each one of those things.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
and then try to figure out.
I'm just worried about
how that thing is going to deal with the quilt.
Quilting across them. So because they're all different. There's like t-shirt material. There's some cotton material. There's some like a corduroy. So I don't want to. Because that's why I hand tied your quilt, because it's like a minky fabric on the bottom. It was pulling separate from the cotton on top, and I know you wanted the fuzzy warm on the bottom, so I was like, no, I gotta hand tie this. So and it worked out.
I gotta finish my quilt because that beautiful one you made her is disintegrating for much love.
Yeah, the other day I pulled on it and it was like,
oh no,
one of those squares. There.
So I had a quilt that I inherited. I don't know whose it was originally, but it wound up in my room, and I used it to death, and it was shredded like that. So I went and I cut the quilt top off, and I saved the squares because they were worn on the edges, right where they were sewn down, and I saved them, and I have them all, and I'm using them to do English paper piecing. So I can save it, even if it's just a little tiny wall hanging. My initial intention was to make it for my mother, but of course I can't finish anything in any time. So it's just mine now, but there's like Boy Scout fabric and all kinds. I wonder if they were flour sacks. I don't know. But anyway, So that's what you can do if you like those pieces. You can save them and redo them into something else. But anyway, that's me. That's my plan. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
So I decided to go ahead and start. This was on my WIP-GO to start a neighborhood dog show, and I said, well, since I started the hedgehog, no, I'm going to go ahead and start. It's on my WIP-GO to start. I'm going to start it. And so, yeah, I have a big start. I started it sitting right here. What did I do? First I went 3 stitches across, and I went, wait, that's 4. And then I looked, oh yeah, the other page, there's another one. So I did some interesting fixing there. And I normally quilt in hand, stitch in hand. See what you were talking about, quilting. This fabric is so soft that I could not see the stitches correctly.
Oh no, so you put it in a hoop.
So I put it in a hoop, because I had the hoop because I am almost done with this. This is Cute Boots. I forgot to say, this neighborhood dog show is by Little House Needlework. This is designed by Joe Gattenby for X's and O's, and one of our viewers said, oh yeah, the first time, I think it was on my channel, she said, the first time you showed that, which was a long time ago, I went out and bought it and had to finish it because she just, and it's, every time I look at that duck, it makes me smile. So
cheeks. It's the little cheeks.
For me, it's the little wings. Because it's dancing, he's having fun. She, he, doesn't matter. I'm working on the words. I was not supposed to be working on this month, but with it being so close to finishing,
You do what you want.
I just said, I'm not putting this down. I am so close to finishing this, and it's like one of my older WIPs, and no, I want to finish it. So, what I'm
So I kept
supposed
telling myself about this bear. I thought, I'm almost done. No, I'm not. No, I have a lot of
No,
things.
she really is almost done.
Yeah.
What I'm supposed to be working on is Art Deco Spring by Cross Stitching for Fun. Now, when I show you what I've been working on, you're going to think I've been working on it even less than what I've been working on, but I've actually done quite a bit. So here we are. And if you do not remember, this bug was not in existence at all, but this bug had no legs, and now he has legs.
I just had a total inspiration.
For what?
Have you ever seen how people finish things on glass plates? I just saw that there was round, and I thought that would look so beautiful underneath a glass plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Like
crazy.
if you go and get something at the thrift store that's a
Mhm.
glass plate.
Anyway,
It wouldn't be Art Deco then, but it sure would be cute.
yeah.
So the other thing I did was I finished the cross stitching. It's all cross stitching. Finished the back stitching on this bug. It was missing what I call the little eyes. It's actually just a spot that's on the front of this beetle. It's supposed to look like eyes to other insects,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so that
The camouflage eyes.
yeah. And this one has it too. Now, I would have gotten a lot more done on this if I could find the thread. The 2 of the threads that are used in this project are used in 7 projects. And do I have 7 skein? No, I have 1. And I could not figure out where it was. Well, I found it finally. So I put it down completely. I think the last time I worked on it was Thursday. Oh, and I also did back stitching There's back stitching on this flower. I did half of the back stitching on this flower. There'll be more. There's another one of these daffodils down here, and I'll finish the back stitching on that then. I had decided.
I didn't notice that you had.
What?
Oh, I was thinking that they were all bugs. I didn't know they were flowers, and there's
Tons
like
of flowers.
Geez.
Not all the flowers have back stitching, but the daffodils do, and this one really light one has back stitching. And then of course
I
there's
just love the wings on these bees.
yeah, there's
They're
the bees.
Perfect.
I decided pretty early on that I would do the back stitching as I went, because there's so much back stitching that
And then you can like
it would-
finish each bug completely.
yeah, it would be a nightmare to go back and try to finish all that.
If you
Yes,
discard
you would
them.
have the thread in your hand already, but no. So I have 2 more flowers, I think. No, 3 more flowers. Oh, and I finished this flower with the exception of 2 stitches on this stem, because the only other place that this thread is used is in the middle here. Am I going to count that? No. So that's what I've done so far on this. I would have liked to have gotten closer to a finish on this in February, but honestly, I love it. But it's a 4-piece unit thing, so I'm not going to finish all 4. So I'd rather get cute boots done.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, and it, you know what, they're mine and I can do what I want.
You do what you want.
And as you may recall, I can't count on my own pattern, under the sea temperature chart. I had done January wrong, and then I looked at February and I went, oh my gosh. Well, I did fix it. I finished the fixing and I added the next
Nice.
the next week on this. Now, you may notice 2 yellow fish on this week here. You see these yellow fish? That means it was very warm. It's been hot in the afternoon, but in the mornings it's so cold, and I turned off.
It's the worst.
I turned off the heater because in the afternoon you need the air conditioning, right? So
That's Arizona.
I change clothes like 2-3 times a day, just trying to keep up with the weather. And this morning, when I decided that I needed booties and a sweater in the house, that I should probably put the heater back on.
Well, you know, I got up early this morning and went to the bathroom, and I went back to my room, and I thought, it's actually warm in here. Because usually my feet are like freezing by the time, you know.
So I still haven't caught up with fixing the octopus, and of course, since I've been doing so much extra stitching to fix this, I haven't done any of the other, you know, like stuff. I did start fixing the pattern to add the lobster and the
Turtle.
yeah. But I might want to add 2 turtles. We'll see. I like turtles. I like land turtles, but I really love sea turtles. But anyway.
I saw one of those, I don't know, dodo things or something, about a guy who he like did some, like, I guess he did like boat kind of assistant things, like if somebody runs out of gas or something like that. But he was out on this lake or something, or I guess a part of, I don't know, part of the, not a lake, part of the ocean or something, in Florida, I think, part of an area in Florida or something. But anyway, he was out there and he saw something, and he realized it was a cold stunned turtle, you know, like a aquatic turtle, that the cold water had stunned it, and so it was kind of like I don't know, like semi-conscious or something. And so he called some wildlife rescue, and they ended up like he had a boat full of these turtles because the water had gotten really cold, and they were kind of like stunned. And so the danger they were saying was that sometimes they can't breathe properly, or they get washed ashore, and they're vulnerable to predators, and so they gathered them all up and took them to the rehab center or whatever.
So I saw a video where a dolphin pushed his little turtle friend up to a boat because the turtle had something wrapped around it. Okay, so I did some more work on this. I did lots of work on trying to do the ears. I could not do them.
Is it an Arctic fox? Is that what it is?
Yeah, my little crystal, it says.
Show your
I
product.
will.
Okay.
But I couldn't get them, so I asked Naomi to bring me a different crochet hook. And hopefully that'll help me. I know technically in my brain how to make a magic ring, which you need to do. But
So
I've been crocheting the other way for so long, it's hard for my brain to go back
I
the other way.
know. Your hook was plastic?
Yeah. And so it would bend when I would try to go in, because it's just those, it's like this big. I mean, look at this little head. So I finished it. It's closed on the back. I have this big long thing that's getting a little frayed. To sew it on, keep putting my elbow in that. So they have you pull with yarn to pull back and indent for the eyes, and then of course the embroidery on the
Oh, that's really
nose.
cute. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I really want to get those ears on him because he looks kind of like Jack Skeleton. Beth says he doesn't. I think he looks like him,
It's cute.
except for his eyelashes. He's got eyelashes. Anyway, the eyelashes aren't as cute as the one in the picture, but I did my best.
Yeah, no, those are great.
So when we went to Joanne the other day, I bought a lot of stuff that I absolutely didn't need physically.
But emotionally.
In other words, I had no project in mind to do them. But I was like, I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and get them, even though really I should have spent my money on, toilet paper and milk. But
magic beans.
But I bought all of these DMC shiny threads.
Oh, wow.
They're the Light Effects threads, and no, they're not easy to work with. Ask me if I care. Do not. I work with Kreinik willingly, although Kreinik has been sold to who bought it? The other shiny thread people. And then when I was working on that pillow that I showed last week, I was like, I really wish I had red Accentuate thread. Now that is a different brand of shiny thread. And I love it. It's so easy to work with. To stitch on the some of the stuff on there in the hearts, or the butterflies or something. Not pink, red. And I looked up where I could get it because the attic, I don't remember what colors they had there, and I was just like, I wonder. I know it won't get here in time, and of course it didn't. But that's okay, because you know me, I will use shiny. So I can't buy just one thread.
Get lonely.
So I bought red and green,
Christmas?
or St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day, and black,
A shiny black.
shiny black.
This looks awful. It's frayed.
Something
Did they all
shiny.
fray? Any of those fray? Hold on a second.
So that
Every
song
week.
about the Cadillac Ranch, There's some line in there about something shiny and black. Don't let it take me to the Cadillac Ranch. I used to drive by the Cadillac Ranch all the time. It's outside of Amarillo. Because I used to drive by it all the time on my way from Little Rock to Albuquerque.
So they all
by the
fray. If you
Cadillac
look at
Ranch.
these, the edges of them
Mm.
are even worse. Okay, and that's one of the things you know.
You just have to accept.
You cut off a lot more than you need so you can snip, 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 snip. But when that came, I got this.
Did they send it to you for free?
Yeah.
Oh, I
The
love
little
those.
scissors.
That's nice. Soap on a rope. Let me see.
So I was
My
so,
mother-in-law had these.
I was like,
I think there was one in Mom's sewing machine too.
maybe.
Oh, those are nice. Those
Yeah.
are nicer than I've ever seen these.
Careful, don't cut yourself. But
Ooh.
I was very excited to see these come, and there's a lot of threads that are coming this way now, but they have the kind where you can separate it out and then unwind it and then push it back so that it holds the thread for you, so you don't have to try to figure out how to get it to not unspool. Anyway, that's me.
That's cool.
Now I need to design something shiny.
Shiny. Yeah, absolutely. So, it's time for question of the week. Last week we asked, do you start things special for special days? One of our viewers said, once in a while I do stitch along with my friends and do a start on a certain day, but most of the time I try to finish what I have in the works first. So,
That sounds
so
like
that's
a
fair.
monogamous.
Magnanimous stitch.
Yeah. So that's good. And then this week we were going to ask about WIPs. Show us your WIPs. So
No, we were going to
no.
ask,
What were we gonna ask?
how soon do you FFO them?
Oh, yes, yeah. So, are you someone who finishes your cross stitch and puts it in a pile to finish later? Or are you someone who fully finishes cross stitch immediately? So,
Well, that wasn't immediate.
oh yes it was.
It was soon.
Yeah, but it was,
Yeah.
So, when do you make a fully finished object or FFO your pieces? I'm fully finishing Hannah's because I'm gonna get it mailed, but I don't know mine. I never cross stitch, so. But yeah, so that's what we want to know from you. We know these guys. This one she had to do a whole year of finishing.
Yeah. Well, because over the years I did not FFO very well. Actually, when I
Early on you did.
yeah,
But then when you
know,
really started stitching in volume,
because when I would do before, I would very often do one project at a time. I had several older things that I had not finished stitching, but usually, like if I finished something, I would FFO it, and actually, I did a lot of back in the day, like Hobby Lobby carried them, and I don't know who else carried them, but you could get like put together yourself frames so that you would get like two sides of this size and two sides of that size.
It's a conspiracy. They stopped selling them so that you would use their framing.
Yeah. So I had several that I finished at my parents' house that I finished with those kind of put together yourself frames, and I actually wonder about them now because a lot of times the instructions for framing or whatever would say something like use masking tape and just whatever tape it to this.
Well, the one you made for us is still
Yeah.
Still standing, still on the wall.
So,
Yeah, so do you collect
yeah, so-
your finished objects, or do you?
Yeah.
No.
So I was gonna say that when I started stitching, like I guess when I discovered Flosstube and started doing more stitching,
Yeah.
I had a pile of finished things. So when I did WIP-GO the next year, I had not only what I was stitching on like this, but then I had a new start and I had an FFO
Yeah.
for every square.
That was good for you because
because
you
then
were
I just got
overwhelmed.
through everything.
Yeah. So,
So-
and I mean,
Of course, she's making a pile again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but well, that's a little bit because you're
I've only finished one thing. I think no,
You're
I
finished-
finished
you're
several.
finishing-
I
last-
Stuff
finished
is all
a
put
lot
away.
last year.
Yeah,
your finishing stuff is put away. So
Yeah.
right now.
yeah.
But in terms
So
of
it's making me itch that I finished that turtle finally, and the finishing piece that I bought to put it on
is in
is-
the,
is in storage.
storage.
yeah.
And the paints that I bought to paint the finishing thing that I want to put it on is in storage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you should just knit because basically as soon as you're done knitting, you got an object. And now blocking, I know a lot of knitters that don't block things and like either they don't block them or they put them in a pile to block because it's time consuming. But yeah, but once you're done knitting it, weaving in ends, that's our bane. Have you weaved in the ends yet? But
Yeah.
a lot of times like
I weave in ends as I go.
I do too. I do too because it especially like that color sweater that I have started for Hannah. I try to weave those in, or just when I have a lot of ends like that, I weave them in as I go.
I think right now, because I have a lot of finished things that I have not done, and this was before we even were gonna think about moving. And like fresh lemonade, I had the lemon fabric,
Yeah.
I had the stitching. Why didn't I finish it? And at that time, I just didn't feel like doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And right now, I am very focused on what I am doing, whether it is cross stitching or at Joanne I bought a drawing pad and some pencils because I'm desperate for drawing pencils. But I also bought the shiny thread because I want shiny. And so, and I've been designing a cross stitch for Father's Day. And which I think is going to be really beautiful, and that one is not with shiny thread. Well, maybe the shiny black, but there are so many things that I am able to concentrate more on now, and I think it has to do with mood.
Having all your stuff put away?
No,
Oh.
with mood.
Oh, okay.
I don't like moving.
Yeah.
So right now I just was like, okay, I'm going to get stuff that makes me happy and
Yeah.
I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
And so bought drawing pencils, bought shiny thread because I like shiny. Even if it's somebody else's pattern, I could put shiny on.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, so Hands-On Design came out with Botanical Bee a year ago. And my mind said, I wonder if I should make the wings iridescent. And I probably will. I don't know. But she came out with a ladybug this year, a companion piece, ladybug, that's called Ladybug Picnic or something like that. That ladybug is so stinking cute, I can't even tell you.
You keep thinking about it, talking about it.
And she also came out, I think they're owls, but one's wearing glasses and it
Yeah.
says glasses, and then one's holding a hoop and it's hoops. And snips,
Yeah.
and what was the fourth one?
I can't think of it, yeah.
They're
The
adorable.
New,
They're for market.
Nashville market.
They're for market.
Patterns.
And I promised myself I would buy nothing for market, because those things will be available later on when
Yeah.
I decide to buy. And if I still am thinking about them and jonesing about them, then I can, get them later. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I
several
want to
of the,
get some of my whips off of my.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I like several of the night garden patterns
Oh, they're beautiful.
that,
We're back.
I want to stitch those things, but like I haven't even finished stitching Botanical Bee,
Right,
so there's no point in my buying the next one.
right.
I love those owls; they're absolutely adorable, but I have so many. That's why I'm doing the WIP-GO with starting stuff. I have so many patterns that I love that are just sitting there,
Yeah.
and I
Sure.
want to be able to just get them out and done. So,
Yeah. I'm trying to focus on, obviously I just started this sweater because Mary Lou basically said, will you give me a sweater? So I did that, but I'm trying to get, what am I saying? I keep distracting myself with new things, but I am trying to also follow behind and get things done. And I'm just tired of feeling guilty and stressed by my whips.
well, and I do want to not feel guilty about enjoying the things that I love to do.
Right.
They are stress relievers. They are,
Yep.
when you have a creative mind,
Yeah.
to be in a situation where you cannot create in the way that you normally do or
Yeah.
would normally do, it's nice to have something else that you can use to get that
Yeah.
feeling out.
Well, and for me, it's like I am the type of person where I can't not be doing something. I have to be doing something. And my problem, and the reason I wind up with so many whips and so many projects is that I have an idea or I hear about, okay, this is perfect case. I was on YouTube and I heard about the Musselburgh hat. Everyone's making Musselburgh's hat. I've made 15 Musselburgh hats. I just love making these. And I'm like, what is that? And then there's whole videos about how to start a Musselburgh hat because it's such a hard start and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what is that? I want to do that. I want to learn that. I want to learn that thing. Just like we were talking about learning new crafts or trying different things. It's like, I'm like, I want to try that. And I bought a book was recommended by Stacy Perry from Very Pink Knits. It's like the Knitter's Handy Guide to Patterns or something like that. And in there, I was looking at it, it's like basically how to make a sweater, how to make a hat, how to make a scarf. Very basic, and then you can kind of take that basic thing and then go from there, right? So, but in there was berets. And actually the beret pattern that was in there, actually I didn't think would work because the sizes were too small. But from there I went and found another beret pattern and did it. So it's like,
It looks like a mushroom.
It's very cute.
When I saw the top of it, I was
Yeah.
like, it looks like a mushroom.
So I just like trying new things, doing new stuff, trying to make something.
Well,
and I hear about something and
I remember
squirrel, and I run off that way.
I remember you learned how to tat.
Yeah.
And-
Needle tatting. I can't do shuttle tatting. I don't understand it.
But you're always willing to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I was joking with my boss that when Hobby Lobby has that slogan, live a creative life,
Yeah.
they have a picture of me
Right.
upright. Because I do knit. I don't do it all the time. I crochet, and I've just started loving amigurumi patterns.
Mhm.
Okay, I cross stitch. I know how to do traditional embroidery. I sew. I can quilt. I can make clothes.
Yeah.
You know,
I really like sewing clothes too.
I have designed my own swimming suit and sewn my own swimming suit in the past. Okay, and then we're not even talking about other smaller crafts like making candles and making soap and making this and that and the other. And I love being able to learn something new. Now, that being said, Tim sent me a book on crocheting with wire. And I thought at first, oh, that looks fun. I was reading it going, I don't want to buy all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things is, and paper flowers.
Yeah, you got on a paper flower kick.
I would still be doing it. I wanted to make paper poinsettias, except all of my paper is in storage, and I had to carefully put it so that it wouldn't be exposed to dust and light. Yeah, but hopefully only the outside part of them is, going to be, because that paper is expensive. But a lot of the places like, I think it's pronounced Carte Fini, is a crepe paper company for the kind of crepe paper you need to make crepe paper flowers. They have free tutorials on there for making flowers. But, just like you can get, I just was watching a free Agurumi fox pattern. It's little like this to make it like a keychain, or something like that. And I'm like, I wonder if my aunt needs a fox keychain. Her birthday's coming up. There's always something.
There's always something to learn and do, and
I used to feel guilty about, and I know a lot of crafters and, whatever your craft is, feel like, I've got all this stash and do I have too much? Well, you need it all. When you find a pattern that you love, you don't want to have to go run out and get a new fabric. You want to be able to look in your stash and see if you have fabric that it'll work with. You want to be able to pull the threads that you already have. You don't want to have to go buy another thread. Yeah, it's fun to go shopping for fabrics, but you don't want to. Honestly, you want to be able to just start it right now, and if you get the fabrics ahead of time, if you have that stuff ahead of time, you can shop sales. I love shopping sales, which is why I waited until, these are not cheap.
You know what I should have done when we went to Joann's?
What?
Is I should have gone to the patterns and pulled, there's a bunch of dress patterns that I've liked for a long time. And I should have just gone to see how much they were. Maybe those are flying under the radar. Maybe I
They
could go with them.
might not even be on sale.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because they do have a lot of, a couple of stores that are staying open.
Mm-hmm.
And
I bet they're on sale though. But I was like, I should have gone to at least get some of those like basic dresses and stuff. That's the one thing I'm really sad about, because Joann's was my go-to place for dressmaking for Hannah and for myself. I made my gala dress. I have to make another gala dress. Gala's coming in October. The new gala for the new season.
I was gonna say, with Nashville, the only thing I feel fear of missing out is like when there's certain like exclusive things that you think, oh, maybe I should buy that because it has all these exclusive patterns or whatever. Like the cookbook comes with, I think, Stephanie Webb was doing several videos about, you know, what was coming up for Nashville for each designer, and one of the things she was talking about, and of course, you know, there was a deadline for that, for ordering that, if you were going to order that, and that's already passed. But but the you know, every year they do a cookbook, and so there's, you know, all these recipes in there from the different designers. But the cookbook came with like 50 designs in it, because, you know, there's the recipe and then there's people put designs in there. But there was like 50 designs in that cookbook, and you know, so you know, it's very tempting to think, oh, I need that. Or like this year, they have a set of designs. Several of the designers participated in this night garden thing, and it's a set of threads from Threadworks, and the designers then, like, I think there's like 4 thread colors.
There's one
and so
that
they,
I absolutely
yeah,
adorable.
so the designers like used that color palette of those 4 threads, and then, you know, did designs with them. And I think she said that the Blue Flowers night garden design is a freebie, but I don't know if it's included with another design or how you would get it. But anyway, but the thread pack is like, if you want to buy the thread pack is like $20 or something, and then each designer, you know, that has a design using those threads, you could just buy that one design or whatever. So, but you know, that's the kind of thing that's very tempting to think, oh, I could get that. And at one point, I have like a working copy of this bear design, and on the back of the working copy, I was scribbling down like, oh, maybe I want to buy that.
Yeah.
Because not necessarily for Nashville, because I think the deadline is pretty soon for a lot of them,
But all those
because
things
Nashville
are
is
gonna
coming
be,
up.
they're all going to be
Yeah.
at the attic eventually.
Yeah.
And
I
they'll
know.
order
I
them
know.
for you if they're not.
I know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But to keep track of like what
yeah,
you
to
see.
keep track of which ones I
Yeah.
like or which ones.
That's what I like about Ravelry, is that they have a favorites, so you can just mark it, like if you don't want to forget particular patterns.
Yeah, I'm sure I could, you know, put
Is
on
there
the
a
wish list or
central,
whatever.
like, Ravelry is, there's problems with Ravelry, but Ravelry is like I don't know if it's unique to the yarn world, because, I mean, is there a similar kind of, it's almost, I want to say it's almost a clearinghouse. So it's like, there's social side to it. It's like the old kind of chat rooms kind of thing. But then there's, like, most designers have their patterns there. And so you can go and you can search. It's a really actually great search engine. You can put in and search, I want to make a sweater. And then you go over here to the filters. I want to make it out of fingering weight yarn. I have this many, you know, I want it to be for a child. And you choose those filters, and then it shows you page after page after page after page. And you could filter it down to color work or single color or whatever. And so, and then once you go to the pattern page, there's like yarn suggestion, there's a tab for yarn suggestion, and then the details of the pattern, and there it gives you a link to where you can buy it, or tells you that it's a freebie or whatever, and you can download it. Then there's a tab that says projects. So then you click on there, and people who have, now I don't enter my stuff in Ravelry, and that's a whole other story I can get into some other day. But I do appreciate people that do, because when I see a pattern, I click on that projects list, and you see people who have knit the pattern or are knitting the pattern, and they put up photos. So you see like a normal person rather than a professional knitter, what it looks like, what it looks on all different body types. Is this something that's going to look good on me, or is it, you know, only for skinny people, or only for, you know, whatever. So, and you can also see like how popular is this pattern. Have a lot of people knit it, and then there's a whole like a chat associated with the pattern where people have asked questions or made comments, and so they're like, "This is a great pattern," or "I had a problem with this pattern because of X, Y, Z." So you just get all this information about the thing, but it's really like all the designers are on there. So is there like something like that for cross stitch?
I think that in cross stitch, a lot of there are a lot of sellers, like say on Etsy, someone may have a like our Etsy shop. You know, we carry really basically just our own patterns that we have designed over the years, and then a few other things. But some people have like an Etsy page, and they carry lots of patterns, like from the distributors or whatever. So they may have Lindy Stitch's patterns, and they may have Tiny Monarch's patterns, and they may whatever. So however big their Etsy shop is, they carry various different things, as well as maybe their own personal designs or whatever.
Oh, I see.
And then, but then there's places like 123 Stitch, which is very popular, that has all kinds of designers. But like Lindy Stitch's, Stephanie Webb has her thing, and she carries a lot of patterns. So there's several different.
The short answer is no.
Yeah, there's several different online stores you can go to that have,
Right,
and they have wish lists, and they have threads, and they have.
There's not a clearinghouse of them where you can go and look.
So like if you want this kind of thread, well, maybe this.
So really, where you guys kind of experience what I'm talking about is really Flosstube, right?
Yeah.
Where you can watch different people.
Yeah.
Right.
Just normal people who are. This is what I'm stitching, and this is what I found,
and honestly, a lot of the stuff that I've seen now, cute boots. I was just looking around on. I think I looked at animals on 123 Stitch, and this was a long time ago. Okay, I looked at animals on 123 Stitch. I think that's how I found it. I didn't look specifically for ducks. And I saw this, and I was like, that's really cute. And the nice thing about 123 Stitch is that you can click on, put it in the cart, and then they have all of the threads that are in there, and you can click on that and add them all, or you can click on individual ones that you don't have. And you can, I think, choose between if it has specialty threads or not.
Are most patterns PDFs, or are they a mix of? You have to wait for the
It's a
paper.
mix.
So like a lot of patterns are paper to begin with, and then PDF later on.
Because I think most of modern knitting patterns and crochet patterns now are PDFs to download. Because I mean, there's patterns that exist in books, and like on Ravelry, they'll have a pattern up there, but it says this pattern is in this book that is out of public, or out of print, or whatever. So most of them are downloadable.
There are some people who prefer, like PDF and download and being able to put it on a tablet or whatever. And then there are some people who prefer paper patterns, like this.
Right.
This, and so so a lot of places offer both. You can order the paper pattern, or you can order a PDF. If you want to like avoid shipping charges, you can just do the PDF.
And then print it out and you have a paper pattern.
Right. And so, you can print it off, and you could have a physical paper pattern or a PDF, or you can put it on your tablet or whatever. And so there's that flexibility, but it all just depends on the designer, because some designers don't offer PDFs, or some designers don't offer printed patterns. So it just depends on. That's one thing I like about Twin Peak Primitives, because they're in the Netherlands, and so if you had to ship a paper pattern from Europe, you'd have big shipping charges, but they offer pretty much everything, I think.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, in PDFs, and so that's why this quirky
PDFs
Christmas.
are like such a major.
But not all
technique.
PDFs. Not all PDFs work with like Pattern Keeper.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but so like so something like this is 9 patterns, and this is several pages, and it's all PDFs, and so it's nice to be able to.
Knit Companion is one of the best
I bought
software.
I bought their Easter book, Twin Peak Primitives Easter book,
Mhm.
and the other stuff I've bought from Twin Peak Primitives went into Pattern Keeper just fine, but the Easter one, it's just, you can't see it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just print it out and do it that way. And part of the problem is that the symbols are too light. They're not dark, so the software can't read them.
I see.
But, you know, that's okay. I like them well enough that I
You
don't
have
care.
Knit Companion, don't you?
Yeah,
It might work in there.
I can try it. I can try it.
Because you can use a pen and mark off where you are in Knit Companion.
Mm-hmm.
So it might work in there. And there's those shadow bars where you can move your, down the.
Well, let Knit Companion let you take a picture of something and put it in there.
Now I don't know if the free version will, because I have the full version. I pay for it once a year because I use it all the time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it will.
I would like to be able, I tried taking a good enough picture for it to go into Pattern Keeper, but it is experimental. And it's like, I don't need you to tell me what the symbols are. I just need you to let me look at it where I can enlarge it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in order to take a good picture, you have to be able to hold your hand steady. And sometimes if I'm standing up above something, I find myself doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. This morning I was taking pictures of these 3 items before I mailed them, and I was like shaking. But yeah. This morning I went to get eggs. I want to show pretty eggs. I have a picture. They're so beautiful. I've become the egg mule again. But
Oh, wow.
look at those. Aren't those beautiful?
She's a pusher.
I'm a pusher. But so there's the lady that I have gotten this wool from also has chickens. And for a while, I was back in 2020. I started getting eggs, and it's been on again, off again as her flocks age or that kind of thing or die off. But she got a bunch of babies last year sometime, and she's like, hopefully by January they should be ready and we should have eggs again. So and she's like, I'll give you your eggs free if you continue to help me find customers. And I was like, absolutely, that's a good deal. So I think I mentioned a bunch of people at the symphony get them. So I created a spreadsheet. It's a Google Sheets because if you have the link, you can go in and edit it yourself. And I even created a QR code and I put it in the eggs. And I was like, if you want eggs, sign up for eggs. I don't want to chase people down anymore. If you want eggs, sign up for eggs. So
And pay for it.
And guess what happened? Nobody did it. So I'm like, do you want eggs? Do you want eggs? Do you want eggs? So then, but I started asking new people, and one guy in my office was like, yes, I'll pay you for the whole month. So, because right now I just have it signed up through March, because that's all my brain can handle. But, and then I had another lady who's like, yeah, and then my boss was like, I'll pay for a whole month too. So anyway, so that it's filling out, and then I just talked to my neighbor, and a different neighbor, because my across the street neighbor gets some every other week, and then my next door neighbor is like, I will take as many dozen as you have left over. So if you have 5 dozen, I'll take it. If you have 1, I'll take it. So that is huge because Sonia and I were stressing, she's like, I don't want the eggs to go to waste, and if you're not going to take them, I want to be able to offer them to the next people on her list, or on wait list or whatever. So he will take up all the egg slack. So it's kind of relieving. I can just be like, okay, I've got 4 for you, or I'm putting him down for 1 a month because he wants them, but he's like, I'll take as many as you have, because his wife has a large family, and she's like, they're always using eggs. So,
Well, and they taste so good.
they're so good. They're so good.
Uh-huh.
And this batch is, some of them you'll see in the picture, they're little. Because they're pullet eggs. They're like the first egg a chicken lays is usually smaller. So they're all mixed in. And it's so cute. So beautiful.
I
We don't
used
have
up all
eggs.
our eggs, and Robert's like, really? There's no more eggs?
These are the best. And they're so good because if you think about, so she told me today that grocery stores are allowed to sell eggs 3 months from the date of lay. 3 months. So, and she goes, I never give you eggs that are more than 7 days from lay. So they are very fresh, and it makes a huge difference in the way they taste, the way they look, everything. So they're so good.
I remember, see, I don't know, it was a movie. Maybe it was that Harrison Ford movie or some other, but they were talking about using fresh eggs.
You're thinking of Morning Glory, my favorite movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I love that movie. Morning Glory, and he's like, you gotta have fresh eggs.
It's very late.
Yeah, I know. I've gotta work tonight, so
Oh yeah,
I've gotta get
going to a
going.
concert tonight.
yeah. So yes,
Yeah.
we must sign off. Thank you for joining us again. And next time it will be March.
Yes.
Yes, and we'll know our new WIP-GO numbers and
Yes, and Eli and I next Saturday have a photography class that we're doing.
you'll have fun.
Yeah.
He's a great photographer.
That's what we gave him for Christmas.
Yeah.
So he's been waiting all the way since Christmas to have his present. But so we go next Saturday morning. So we'll have to find another time to record. But we will see you in March. Thank you so much for joining us again, and we will see you next time.
Bye.